Hey Harmonizers, welcome to this video. We're still on day 4, the same day that I brought my little Mustang into the barn, and now it is after he's come in and he's had his vaccinations, and you'll notice that there's a blanket on him, so that was put on him while he was under tranquilizer, just in case it was going to be a big deal for him. We wanted to do that so that way he could be nice and warm since it is still cold. It's actually warmed up, so now it's only -11, whereas before when we started the day, it was, I think it started off as -28 and I think it was -24 when I came out. So now he is, I'm not sure that he's 100% off of the sedation. There might be some lingering effects, but he's definitely more alert, although right now he's just kind of standing there, but he is actually awake. As I say that, he's perking up. He's going to look over just a little bit. You going to say hello, buddy? To the people on the camera? Not yet. So it's been a few hours since he had his tranquilizer. It's been about 3 or 4 hours since he had his tranquilizer, so a fair bit of it has worn off for sure, but there's probably a little bit of lingering effects. So this video anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to give him a name. Wanted to do that today, even though it wasn't quite in time for his health papers to go to Florida, so on going to Florida is still going to be called 3334. But anyways, we're going to give him a name, and then I might put another blanket on top of this one, but either way we'll do a little bit of work on that a little bit. He just kind of fell asleep there for a second, so he's definitely still got a little bit of lingering sedation in him, but he is significantly more awake. So I thought I would record for you guys me taking off of his number tag, and we'll see how he is for that. Hey buddy boy, I'm right here, bud. Hey buddy. Good job. So there's been a lot of horses in the barn, so it's a lot warmer than what it was. And so you guys can't see his eye, but he is actually like awake and not asleep. He's aware of what I'm doing here. But he's been such a good boy, so good for his needles. The vet was really impressed. And I didn't do a video of Caballero, but I had the vet look at Caballero again, and the vet didn't see any immediate concerns. He didn't feel the need to x-ray him, but instead he suggested that I treat him for ulcers just in case as a preventative. But in his movement and watching me sit on him, he didn't see any concerns there. So I didn't video it just because it's been really cold and we were kind of in a little bit of a rush, and my helper was doing something else and I didn't want to hold up the vet. Sometimes we've got the vet up here, you know, he comes from so far away and he's doing so many things that I don't really want to bother him with, you know, doing videos and whatnot as well. So that's why I didn't do a video of it, but I thought I would tell you guys that that was done for Mr. Caballero. So we officially have our number tag off. I'm going to see if I can turn him so he can look at you guys a little bit. Will you let me turn you a little bit? Hey, you okay, buddy? You turn just a little? Yeah. Can you move your booty? So I've got him turned, but he's not sure about moving his bum, so I'm not going to make him move. He's yielding nicely to that halter pressure there, so I'm just going to hold him in this position and we'll see if he turns around, if he moves his feet. But otherwise, that's pretty good there. So I'm pretty happy with this little fella. So I'm pretty excited to announce that I went through all of your name ideas. There were so many amazing ones. But this is 334, and now his new name is going to be Valenti. So Valenti is a Spanish word that means brave. So I thought that would be nice to have. He's been really good to progress to day 4 and be able to let me do as much as we've managed to get accomplished. That's pretty exciting. And the name was suggested by YouTuber Sarah Jan. I'm sorry, I forgot the last part of the name there. Sarah Jan something. So thank you so much for submitting that name idea. I'm so sorry that the last part of your YouTube handle is blocking from my memory. I apologize. I should have wrote that down and brought it out with me. And so he's been doing really, really good stuff. I'm going to do a little bit of blanketing work in here and try to help him with that a little bit now that he's more awake. Hey, buddy boy, you're being so good. Yeah, you're a good boy. I'm pretty happy with him. Lots of great name ideas. And somebody commented on one of the last videos with him about the whole food thing again, about, oh, I should be in there with no food and get him to do it all at Liberty. And you can do that. There's a really cool lady that you could all look up. Her name's Elsa Sinclair, and she did a documentary called Taming Wild, where her goal was to tame a wild horse to ride and not use any type of tools, including no treats and no food. So she did do that, but it also took her an entire year. So the documentary is over an entire year, and it's super impressive what she was able to accomplish and super duper awesome. Unfortunately, with the time that I have to spend with my horses and the timeline that I'm on, we know that from research with all sorts of animals that when you use food for training, you increase motivation and you significantly speed training. And so I'm all for that because it's not hurting the horse in any way, shape, or form. It's not mean, it's not cruel, it's not bad for them in any way, shape, or form, and it's just going to speed my training process significantly a lot more. So I'm all for that. Makes sense to me to do it that way, and absolutely the treats will become less. Like, obviously I don't feed my horses hay or treats every 3 steps they take when they're leading, but when they're first starting and learning how to lead and learning how to do those things, then I'm rewarding really frequently. It's the same thing as when you go to school. In the beginning, you're going to earn a gold star for learning 2 + 2. But by the time you get to high school, you better be able to solve some algebra before you're going to get a gold star, because 2 + 2 isn't going to cut it anymore. And it's the exact same thing when we're training horses or working with other animals, is you reward for the basic simple things in the beginning. And part of it is you want your horse to learn that they can enjoy learning, that they can enjoy the process of learning, that they can feel confident learning, and that learning is a good thing and nothing to be stressed over. And when you see me come into your stall or your paddock or wherever it is, there's no reason for you to get all upset and for me to have to calm you down. You should be able to just get calm. It's kind of funny because his head is getting lower and lower and lower. He's really relaxed in my presence here. And that's really important. That's the biggest first step, is that we can't teach horses anything if they're stressed about that learning process. So they're going to learn faster with the rewards. So that's my little response to that. You can let me know what you think. As always, I read all of your comments. I don't necessarily respond to every single one. I try to respond to most of them, but I definitely read all of your comments, and I love the questions that you guys ask. They are fantastic. So you guys can keep on doing that. So now we are going to do some desensitizing work. I'm going to kind of gauge it a little bit. If I feel like he's too groggy still coming off of the sedation, then I'm not really accomplishing any training, so I'll just stop. But I'm going to start a little something and we'll see what we're doing. Plus, I think when they're coming off of the sedation, it might potentially even be more scary for them because their brain isn't 100% with it. So we're gonna feel that out. Like, he's pretty reacting to when I touch him and stuff. Like, he's opening his eyes, he's alert enough there. So we're going to give it a try. I'm going to grab a lead rope. Okay. So I've got a lead rope here that I'm going to put on him. And there are many different types of rewards we can use with horses. Food is obviously one that's the fastest. Because he is coming off of tranquilizer, food is not a safe reward to use right now, just in case he chokes on it or something like that. So instead of, now that we've gotten to the place where he enjoys neck scratches, like he actually settles down a little bit and he seems to enjoy when I give him little neck scratches, I'm going to use that as a reward for this particular set of training that I'm going to do. And this is where I'm going to bring out the stick and the flag. So you can see that I've got a stick and a flag right here. Oh, he reacted to that a little bit because this is typically scary. So I'm also going to have to gauge, we're still in the stall right now because again, he's coming off that tranquilizer. We want to make sure he's 100% before he goes back out. And I'll probably let him have some more hay and stuff in here once he's woken up a little bit more. I'll probably give him some wet, sloppy hay cubes and see if I can get him eating some grain. But he's inside. So if he's going to be too scared of this flag, I will leave it on a good note, potentially just even me bringing the flag up and putting it down. If that's where I decide to leave it, we will. And the big reason for that is he doesn't really have a flight pattern or a flight path. So when I talk about training horses, especially Mustangs, you want to make sure that a horse always has a flight path. Hi, is that scary? Was that potentially scary? It's okay, I'm not going to hurt you. Sorry, I know I get a stupid voice going on when I talk to my horses, but I find if we talk in a way that's like kind of soft and goofy, however you talk, it doesn't really matter. It's not really the words that you're saying, it's more about the energy at which you say them. And so if I talk in a kind of happy, goofy voice, then he's not going to get any nervous, fearful energy from me. But if I talk in something more menacing, then that energy is going to transmit to him a little bit. So we always want to typically make sure that there's a flight path that the horse can escape, because if the horse can escape and they can run away, that's why I don't get worried when I go out in the field and I go out with a wild Mustang that's never had a halter on, and I take a halter with me and I'm not worried about getting hurt, is I don't confine my horses to small spaces. So he's having a little lick and chew there. So here he is confined to a small space. We've developed a good enough relationship that he likes me, he likes scratches from me, he trusts me enough to give him a needle, he trusts me enough to put the halter on and to lead him a little bit. So that's why we're going to try a little bit in here. Oh, you're looking at the camera? That's a cute boy. And although it's not necessarily the ideal situation, I also have to juggle having a kid and when I have a babysitter. And so if you're wondering, well, why wouldn't I just come out in another 2 hours when he's more awake and go take him out? Well, right now I have my mom babysitting my daughter inside my house. And so I'm out here because it's the time that I have. And sometimes that happens. It's not always an ideal situation, but we work with what we've got. And so even if I can't get a whole lot done in here with new stuff, at the very least, I'm just going to hang out with him a little bit. So that was really good. Good boy. I was able to lift the flag up and he wasn't worried about it. Another one of you guys asked the question if I listen to music or if I talk or something when I'm working with him, when I'm not talking to you guys on the camera. And the answer is I usually talk to him. I don't usually listen to music, but I definitely talk to him. And so my conversations go something like this if I'm not talking to you guys. If I'm by myself, I'd be like, all right, I've got a little flag here, bud. I'm just going to lift the little flag up. Oh, I lifted the little flag up. Oh, okay, it's back down now. Was that silly? Was that silly? It was silly, wasn't it? So I know I sound like an idiot, but the idea is that I have such a goofy, positive tone to my body. It's not a big deal. Good job, buddy. Uh-oh, it moves sometimes. See, look, it moves. It can move. Good job. Good job, buddy. Good job, Valente. Beautiful. What a good boy. Always people try to get a horse to look at it or touch it with their nose. I'm a little bit different in that too, in that I actually like to start my horses with doing it at the side of their bodies and having them trust me that they don't have to check it out necessarily. Now, he offered to turn his nose and look at it, so I was okay with that. Hi, buddy. He's a good boy. You're a very good boy. I'm going to bring it up again. Good job, buddy. Good job. So you can see he's a little bit worried. If you kind of see what's going on in his ears there, see how they're a little bit at the side, they're a little bit unsure. So that's not angry ears, that's lack of confidence ears. He's paying attention to it. He's not really sure. So if I didn't know what I was looking at, plus the other body language I'm reading in him is I'm reading how tight he is in his neck and stuff. He's actually got a little bit of a shiver going on there. So that might be fear. I can see the blanket. I don't think you guys can see that. It's a little bit further back. So that could be fear response. In which case, I don't want to push him not in here because he wasn't doing that before. Hey, buddy. Is that scary, bud? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bud. You're okay. So I'm going to pick up that camera and just show you guys what I'm seeing here. So I'm just going to cut footage for a second. So this is a view of his blanket. I'm just going to bring up the stick again, not touching him. We'll see if he does it again. You can see the blanket fluttering just a little bit there. So now he's actually starting to shake a little bit. You can see the blanket kind of quivering a little bit, even in the front here. I'm not sure if that's cold or if that's fear, but it seemed to be brought on only when I started introducing the stick. So he's trusting me, like he's not moving, which is good. But he's definitely worried about it. The whole blanket's going here. Could be that he's cold, or it could be that he's fear related. But he's not moving. So what I'm going to do is read that as a sign that I should probably not bother him with the stick right now. We're going to wait till he's in a more open space. I'm not feeling comfortable. I don't want to be making him unnecessarily scared, especially in a small space. So instead, I'm going to just bring out the blanket and we'll work with that. Okay, I decided to stop work with the flag because I felt like I was potentially scaring him. I'm not really sure. Either that or he's just cold. So no point pushing the issue with the flag. So instead, we've got the blanket here. So I'm going to do a little bit of work with this blanket. So the first one was put on when he was under tranquilizer. Apologize if we don't have any footage of that. We just weren't really thinking of that at the time. Good boy. Good boy. Good job, buddy. So he could have put 2 blankets on when he was under tranquilizer, but I thought, well, let's do 1 blanket and then we know he's got, you know, some warmth. And then this is just a tiny little bit of extra fill. This one only has an extra 50 grams of fill in it. So I'll add a little bit more warmth, but then I can do a little bit of that process. Good job, buddy. And then if he's not ready for this blanket to go on, it's really not the end of the world. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Good job. It's okay. It's okay. Good job. Good job. Good job. Easy. Good job. Good job. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So we can see that little bit of worried look in his eye. He's got his head up a little bit. He's not 100% sure about what's going on. I'm going to take it off. Good boy. Good job, buddy. Yeah, that's very good boy. Good boy. I'll try it again. Good job, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. Good job. Good job, buddy. Good job. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Good job. Good job. So every progression that I make, I want to stop. I want to praise him. Give him some rubs. So because I'm not using food rewards, I have to pause longer because the food rewards are very quick, but other types of rewards are much slower. So I have to go longer pauses, praise him more. Good job, buddy. Make sure he understands my intent's not to hurt him. Make sure I've got kindness in my hands. Good job, buddy. Good job. Good job. What a good boy. Good job. Good boy. So the nice thing about working with the food is that he does know that those words, the good boy and yes, mean good things, because typically that's when he gets a cookie, is when I say those words. So he knows that those things are good. So he's being a very good boy. Good job, buddy. Good job. What a good boy. Good job. You're being fantastic. Good boy. Good job. Good job. What a good boy. Yeah, I know I put something on your back. It's okay. It's okay. You're all right. Good job. It's kind of looking behind him like, what did you just put on me? Like, well, it's not really any different than the one you had on before. Good job. And it's not hurting. It's not hurting the boy. Good boy. You're doing great, buddy boy. You're doing just great. Nobody's hurting you. Good job, bud. Awesome. Cool. Are you a good boy? You're a very good boy. It's okay, sweetie. It's okay. Well, and it looks like our staff is here and is going to start doing some chores. So I'm going to end his session there while we're on a positive. There'll be too much commotion going on afterwards. But he'll get to stay in while the other horses come in and get food and get to learn what coming in for grain is all about. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching that. Let me know what you think. I'm just going to take this blanket off, but otherwise he's doing pretty good. Thanks for watching, guys.